This episode is dedicated to Rush Limbaugh. I'm your host, Jason Mariner, here at the Strong Back USA show. But America suffered a tragic loss with the passing of Rush Limbaugh. Rush loved people, he loved America, he loved the Constitution, and one of the things that I do know is that he would have wanted us to continue to speak no matter what, to tell the truth no matter what, and to help fix this country no matter what, because Rush knew that what made this country great was the Constitution, freedom, and the pursuit of life, liberty, and happiness. All of those things are under constant attack by this new administration. This administration is allowing things to occur to the American people that should absolutely not be happening. The mainstream media and these big tech tyrants, they've all teamed up with the radical left politicians, and they're pushing a narrative. And we're not going to let them push that narrative past us. We're not going to allow them to convince us the things that they want to convince you are going on. Rush did the same exact thing. He spoke out against these ridiculous lies, like the one that came out over the weekend. I don't know if you heard, but they're saying that math is now racist somehow. That lie is just as ridiculous as saying the Republican Party is racist. The Republican Party, just so you know, is composed of blacks, whites, reds, walks of all life. People are Republican, okay? So we're not racist. We're not a bunch of hillbillies that live in trailers. We're good people. We're moral people that go to church. We work hard. We believe in God. We do the right thing. We have the ability to self-govern. That's what our founding fathers, based this country on, is the belief that people are inherently good, that people knew right from wrong, and we still do. People are inherently good. People do know right from wrong. But we're being misdirected by the media and social media into thinking that there's this big problem. Number one, they're telling us that there's this systemic racist issue in America. Now, I've got news for you. Last time I checked, people of different skin tones and colors and walks of life don't risk life and limb to immigrate to systemically racist countries. They actually run from systemically racist countries. They're doing it now. They're coming here because they think that America is free. And America is slowly becoming less and less of a free place to live. That's because they're able to push this narrative. They're able to control what you see, hear, think, and do through social media, the mainstream media, and now we have political leaders in office like dictator Biden that are reinforcing these things and letting them happen. Joe Biden, if he was a Catholic, I'll just put you onto one lie. If he was a real Catholic, he would not be for full-term abortion. In fact, he wouldn't be for abortion at all. There's really no excuse for it. It's an absolutely terrible thing to eliminate human life that's basically defenseless. Who's going to defend the unborn? Right? That's one of the reasons why conservatives don't believe in it. We defend people. We believe that life is sacred. There's others that don't. I've got news for you. I was born 6 weeks premature. Now, if full-term abortion was allowed back in the 80s when I was born, I might not be here right now. And I've got news for you. I've got 2 children, 2 beautiful young boys. They wouldn't be here if abortion was pushed and allowed in full-term abortion to end a 9-month-old life, a beating heart. Have you ever seen a newborn baby? There's no difference between that newborn baby the day before it's born than there is the day after it's born. The only difference is that it's outside of its mother's belly. But they say it's okay to end that life the day before that child may be born. I can't think of a more horrible thing to do. It's murder. By the way, if you shoot a pregnant woman and kill her and the baby dies, you're charged with double homicide. That's because it's well known that you're killing 2 people. So to approve of full-term abortion and then to take it a step further and start paying for it in other countries shows that that's just one of the many lies that this administration is telling you. They swear him in on a centuries-old Bible that's been in his family for such a long time. He's not a Catholic. He's not even a Christian. Christians don't believe in this stuff, okay? What's happening in politics is people are not voting their values. They're voting favors. Favor for favor for favor for favor. And it never works out in the favor of the American people. It works out in favor of their donors. It's all tit for tat. They're trading at the expense of the American people. Now, I'm certainly not going to allow this to continue to happen without saying something about it, and I happen to not care what the cost may be. I've been deplatformed. I've had money taken away from me. I've had business assets taken away from me. We all know that if you do business these days, it's very hard not to have business assets that live in a cloud somewhere or online. When you're deplatformed, that stuff gets taken away from you, and as far as I'm concerned, it's called theft. The law is not being applied to these big tech tyrants like it would be you and I. If I went and stole $100,000 in advertising collateral from you, I'd probably be thrown in jail. These people can steal from me and nothing happens to them because they're really the ones that are calling the shots. They tell the Biden administration what they want to see happen. They probably hand him half of the executive orders that he signs. They are steering this country away from the Constitution. They are steering this country away from freedom and into the arms of communist China. I thought we were going to have to worry about Russia attacking us. I don't think we do. I think Putin is sitting in his castle, clapping his hands. He's got a big grin on his face because the Biden administration is making things very good for them. We are shipping oil production back over to the Middle East, which he's going to control and profit over. And they're saying, well, we're going to stop oil production for the betterment of the environment, right? Well, I've got news for you. That oil is going to continue to be consumed, which means it's going to continue to be produced. All we're doing is shifting its production from a place like America where we have standards and regulations that keep the environment safe over to places like the Middle East who couldn't give a rat's ass about the environment. You think they have some sort of regulatory process that they actually follow? They don't give a damn. And this is what the administration is allowing to happen. President Trump stepped into office, and this is why they hated him so much. He would not let anything slide. If you attacked him, if you attacked his people, he would fight back, he would swing back, he would defend you and I at all costs. And that's what I respected about him most. Sure, some of his tweets were inappropriate. Who cares, though? It's not the job of the president to care about your feelings. All this touchy-feely nonsense. Joe Biden should go be a therapist. All right, but he can't be a therapist because he can't remember anything. You have to remember things to be able to be a therapist, and you definitely have to remember things to be a United States president. Bet you this guy doesn't know what he had for breakfast this morning. Now, here's where it gets really crazy and creepy, and I'm sure Rush would have a field day with this one, but allegedly now math is racist. I don't know how numbers and equations could be racist because to be racist implies that you have a conscience, you have hatred in your heart, and last time I checked, numbers don't have a conscience, they don't have hearts, they don't have the ability to think, and to be racist, you really need to be able to think. You need to say to yourself, well, I don't like that person because they're black, or they're white, they're red, they're brown. Numbers can't do that. That's not how things work. They're telling you that there's a systemically racist problem in this country, and there's not. And the only reason they're doing it is to divide this country. And when you have a divided country, you have a country that's easier to take over. So I say to the patriots out there, get ready because something's coming our way. We are going to have to protect ourselves against tyranny once again, just like we did in 1776. We are going to have to regain our independence from our own government. That's why we wrote in the Declaration of Independence that when a government becomes destructive to these ends, it's the job of the people. It's not the job of politicians to fix it. You can't rely on them anymore. It's the job of the people to overturn the government and implement change for the better, to ensure and protect life, liberty, and happiness. This is what needs to happen because we are under constant attack. We now have local government. We're going to try to get her on the show. But I know somebody who just had the sheriff knock on her door. There was a plainclothes civilian with the sheriffs, by the way. And it was all because this person had allegedly said that they were going to dump trash on the property of a county commissioner. Something silly like that. But the police basically knocked on her door to say, hey, if you dump trash on someone's yard, it's trespassing, and trespassing is illegal. And she said, I plead the fifth, go away. Exactly what she should have done. But they were there to tell her and educate her about trespassing. Then she said, Who's that person that's with you? I want her name because she was on my property and it's on video. They wouldn't give them her name, but they were there to educate her about trespassing. And then the sheriff said to her, I thought you pled the fifth. Now, when you plead the fifth, you're exercising your constitutional right to remain silent. That doesn't absolve the law enforcement officer of doing his job. They still need to. If you request for a civilian to be trespassed from your property, they still need to go do that. It doesn't absolve them of doing their job. So now we have political people that are weaponizing our own government officials against us. They're weaponizing the police. They're weaponizing the military. They just deployed National Guard troops to Washington, D.C. from Illinois to combat the spread of disinformation. And we've talked about this before. If you say that you've been censored, you're guilty of spreading disinformation. So if that doesn't scare you and wake you up, I don't know what will. But I'm telling you this right now. I don't know who our new founding fathers are going to be, but there will have to be some. Because the way things are going right now are completely unsustainable. We can't continue down this path that we've been on for the past month or two for another 4 years. This country is falling apart. This country is losing its freedom, and we are losing our patience. Patriots aren't going to stand for it. I'm asking that you wake up. I'm asking that you speak out against it. And I'm asking that you take action steps like signing these petitions. We need to do a recall on this last election. Everyone in America who's not buying the results. We need to say this guy needs to be out of office. We need to circulate this petition and sign it. There's actually a petition going on our website right now, and that's to get big tech regulated. Because if big tech's not regulated, we're not going to be able to do anything because they're the ones that control the information. And if they control the information and the way that information is spread from one person to another, we're going to have an almost impossible time of getting things like petitions signed. So, Rush, we miss you. We love you. We are going to continue to carry on your legacy by speaking out against evildoers. We will not give up. At least I won't give up. And I know there's a lot of patriots out there who miss you and won't give up. You were the Thomas Paine of our day. Thomas Paine once said, if there's trouble, let it be during my lifetime so that my children may have peace. It's kind of like saying, bring it on. And I say the same thing. I say, bring it on. If there's going to be trouble, let's have at it because I'm ready. But you are not going to do this to my children. You're not going to do this to my neighbor's children. There's a very important side note here. I will fight just as hard for the right of a Democrat or a liberal to speak as I'll fight for my own as a conservative. So, let's take this country back. Let's find out what our founding fathers did to do it. Let's replicate what they did. There's a playbook. All we need to do is follow it. It's called the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence. Until next time, which there will be one, I say God bless you, your families, those around you, the Constitution, and American patriots everywhere. Be well, everyone.